Lucy Martinez pressed her nose against the cold window of Moonbeam Coffee and watched the rain fall on the empty street. Her mother, Karen, was outside in the parking lot, talking loudly into her phone about some work problem. Lucy could see her mother waving her hands around like she always did when she was upset. The 8-year-old girl turned back to her small table and looked at her art supplies spread across the wooden surface. Her teacher had given everyone a special project to draw what they thought the future would look like. Most kids in her class were drawing flying cars or robot pets. Lucy wanted to draw something different. She wanted to draw people from Earth meeting friendly aliens among the stars. Lucy picked up her purple crayon and started coloring in a spaceship. She had to stretch across the table to reach the box of crayons, and her elbow knocked over the small container of sugar packets. The white packets scattered across the floor like snow. "Oh no," Lucy whispered. She looked around the nearly empty cafe. Only one other person was there, an old man sitting at the table next to hers. He was reading a newspaper and drinking black coffee. Lucy got down on her hands and knees and started picking up the sugar packets. Some had rolled under the other tables, and she could not reach them all. "Here, let me help you with those," said a kind voice. Lucy looked up and saw the old man kneeling beside her. He had silver hair and gentle blue eyes. His clothes looked expensive, but not fancy. He moved slowly but seemed strong. "Thank you," Lucy said shyly. Her mother had always told her not to talk to strangers, but this man seemed safe somehow. "No trouble at all," the man said. He gathered the sugar packets that had rolled the farthest and handed them to Lucy. "That is quite an interesting draw you have there." Lucy stood up and looked at her artwork. "It is for school. We have to draw the future." The man walked over to her table and studied the drawing carefully. Lucy had drawn a big spaceship with windows, and inside the windows were people and aliens sitting together. The aliens had different colors and shapes, but they all looked friendly. Around the spaceship, she had drawn stars and other planets. "This is very good," the man said. "You have quite an imagination. What made you think to draw people and aliens together?" Lucy felt her cheeks get warm. Most adults thought her space drawings were silly. "I think it would be nice if we could be friends with people from other planets. Maybe they're lonely too, just like us sometimes." The man was quiet for a moment. He looked at the drawing again, and Lucy thought she saw something sad in his eyes. "Would you like some company while you work?" the man asked. "I promise I am harmless. My name is Marcus Gray." Lucy looked outside and saw her mother still talking on the phone. She would probably be out there for a while. "I am Lucy Martinez," she said. "You can sit here if you want. I have hot chocolate, and it is really good." Marcus smiled and sat down across from Lucy. "I would like that very much. It has been a long time since I shared hot chocolate with anyone." Lucy pushed her cup toward the middle of the table. "We can share mine. My mom always orders the big size because she says I never finish it anyway." Marcus looked surprised. "Are you sure? I would not want to take your drink." "It is okay," Lucy said. "Sharing makes things taste better. My grandma told me that." Marcus carefully took a sip of the hot chocolate. His eyes closed for a moment like he was remembering something important. "Your grandmother was very wise," he said. Lucy went back to her drawing, adding more details to the spaceship. She drew small windows where families could look out at the stars together. "Have you ever thought about going to space?" Marcus asked. "Every day," Lucy said without looking up from her drawing. "I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. I want to explore new worlds and meet aliens." "Do you think there really are aliens out there?" Marcus was quiet for a long moment. "I think the universe is very big and full of wonders we cannot imagine. There are probably many different kinds of people living on distant worlds." "What do you think they're like?" Lucy asked. "Some might be very different from us on the outside," Marcus said, "but I believe that deep down, most beings want the same things. They want to be safe, to be loved, and to have friends." Lucy nodded. "That is what I think too. That is why I drew them having dinner together in my spaceship." Outside, Lucy could see her mother finishing her phone call. Karen waved at Lucy through the window. "My mom is done with work now," Lucy said. "We have to go home soon." Of course, Marcus said. Thank you for sharing your hot chocolate and your wonderful drawing with me. Will you be here tomorrow? Lucy asked. I come here every day after school. Marcus looked at her thoughtful face and felt something warm in his chest that he had not felt in many years. Yes, he said. I think I will be here tomorrow. The next day, Lucy ran into Moonbeam Coffee with her backpack bouncing behind her. She looked around the cafe and smiled when she saw Marcus sitting at the same table as yesterday. He was reading a different newspaper, but he looked up and waved when he saw her. You came back, Lucy said, dropping her backpack on the floor. I promised I would, Marcus said. How was school today? Lucy made a face. Bobby Henderson said my space drawings are stupid. He said aliens do not exist, and I am weird for thinking about them. Marcus set down his newspaper. What do you think about what Bobby said? I think Bobby is wrong, Lucy said firmly. Just because we have not met aliens yet does not mean they are not out there. The universe is really, really big. That is very smart thinking, Marcus said. Sometimes the best discoveries come from people who imagine things that others cannot see yet. Lucy ordered her usual hot chocolate and sat down across from Marcus. She pulled out her school folder and showed him 3 new drawings she had made. This one is a space station where humans and aliens work together, she said, pointing to a drawing of a circular building floating among stars. And this one is an alien family having a picnic on their planet. Marcus studied each drawing carefully. These are remarkable. You have thought about so many details. What kind of food do you think aliens eat? Probably different things than us, Lucy said. But maybe they like sweet things too. Everyone likes sweet things. Marcus smiled. I think you might be right about that. Lucy noticed that Marcus always seemed very interested in her drawings. He asked questions that made her think harder about her ideas. Other adults usually just said her drawings were nice and moved on to something else. Marcus, do you have any family? Lucy asked. Marcus looked sad for a moment. No, I do not. I have been alone for a very long time. That sounds lonely, Lucy said. You can be part of my family if you want. We have room for one more person. Marcus felt his throat get tight. That is very kind of you, Lucy. Over the next few days, Lucy and Marcus met at the cafe every afternoon. Lucy told him about her classes, her friends, and her dreams of becoming an astronaut. Marcus listened to everything she said like it was the most important thing in the world. My science teacher said it takes years and years to travel to other planets, Lucy said one day. She said space is so big that it would take forever to visit aliens. What if there were faster ways to travel? Marcus asked, what if ships could jump from one place to another very quickly? Lucy's eyes got wide. That would be amazing. Then we could visit lots of different worlds and make friends everywhere. Marcus reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small, smooth stone that looked like it had tiny stars inside it. I brought you something, he said. I thought you might like it for your collection. Lucy took the stone and held it up to the light. It sparkled like nothing she had ever seen before. Where did you get this? She asked. From a museum gift shop, Marcus said quickly. They had a display about minerals from around the world. Lucy put the stone in her backpack carefully. I will put it on my windowsill at home with the other pretty rocks you gave me. Across the cafe, a woman in a dark suit was reading a magazine. She looked up when Marcus gave Lucy the stone, and her face looked worried. The woman touched her ear and whispered something too quiet for Lucy to hear. At another table, a man in a baseball cap was drinking coffee and watching Marcus and Lucy. He also touched his ear and spoke in a low voice. Lucy did not notice these people. She was too busy showing Marcus her newest drawing. This is you, she said, pointing to a figure in the drawing. You are the captain of a big spaceship, and you are taking people to visit alien worlds. Marcus looked at the drawing for a long time. In it, he was standing on the deck of his ship, looking out at the stars. He looked happy and peaceful. Why did you draw me as a captain? Marcus asked. Because you seem like someone who would take care of people, Lucy said. And you know a lot about space stuff. Sometimes you talk about aliens and planets like you have really seen them. Marcus felt his heart beat faster. I just read a lot of books about space. You must read really good books, Lucy said. The way you describe things makes them sound so real. Lucy's mother, Karen, came into the cafe and waved at them. Time to go home, Lucy, Karen called. Lucy packed up her drawings and gave Marcus a quick hug. See you tomorrow, Marcus. After Lucy left, Marcus sat alone at the table. He looked at the drawing of himself as a ship captain and felt something he had not felt in centuries. He felt hope. Lucy walked into the cafe with tears in her eyes. She had been crying, and her face was red and puffy. Marcus looked up from his newspaper and immediately stood up when he saw her. Lucy, what happened? Marcus asked, his voice full of concern. Lucy dropped into her chair and wiped her nose with her sleeve. The kids at school were really mean today. They said my space drawings are baby stuff. They said I am stupid for thinking aliens want to be our friends. Marcus sat down and moved his chair closer to Lucy's. Tell me what they said. Bobby and his friends took my drawing and showed it to everyone, Lucy said. They made fun of the aliens I drew. They said real aliens would probably want to hurt us, not be friends with us. Marcus felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. What do you think about what they said? I think they are wrong, Lucy said, but her voice was not as strong as usual. But what if they are right? What if aliens really would not like us? Marcus was quiet for a moment. He looked out the window at the busy street, where people were walking and talking together. Lucy, let me tell you about a place I read about. Marcus said, it is a place where many different kind of people live together. Some of them look very different from each other. Some have different colored skin. Some are tall. Some are short. Some think differently than others. Lucy looked up at Marcus with interest. At first, these different people were afraid of each other. Marcus continued. They thought the others might hurt them or take their things. But then something wonderful happened. What happened? Lucy asked. They started talking to each other. They shared their food and their stories. They learned that even though they looked different, they all wanted the same things. They wanted their families to be safe. They wanted to have friends. They wanted to laugh and play and learn new things. Lucy nodded slowly, just like what I draw in my pictures. Exactly like your pictures, Marcus said. And do you know what the most important thing was? The children were the first ones to become friends. The children did not care about the differences. They just saw other children who wanted to play. Lucy smiled a little. I would want to play with alien children. I know you would, Marcus said. And I think they want to play with you too. Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out another gift for Lucy. This time it was a small crystal that changed colors when she moved it. Another museum gift? Lucy asked, but she was smiling now. Something like that, Marcus said. Lucy noticed that Marcus always had exact change when he bought his coffee, but the money looked very new and crisp. She also noticed that sometimes he would stop talking in the middle of a sentence and get a faraway look in his eyes, like he was listening to something she could not hear. Marcus, are you really a librarian? Lucy asked suddenly. Marcus looked surprised. Why do you ask? Because you know things that seem too smart for just reading books. And sometimes you talk about space like you have really been there. Marcus felt his heart beat faster. I have read many, many books about space. But yesterday you said that the moons of Jupiter look like pearls when the sun hits them just right. How would a book tell you that? Marcus realized he had made a mistake. He had been thinking about his last visit to the Jupiter colonies. I have a very good imagination, Marcus said carefully. Lucy stared at him for a long moment. Then she pulled out a piece of paper and started drawing. What are you making? Marcus asked. A picture of you, Lucy said, not looking up from her drawing. When she finished, she showed Marcus the picture. She had drawn him wearing a crown and a long cape, standing on a planet with 2 moons. There were spaceships in the sky around him. Why did you draw me like this? Marcus asked, his voice very quiet. Because you seem like someone very important, Lucy said. Like a king or a leader of many people. And you look sad sometimes, like you have to make hard choices. Marcus stared at the drawing. No one had ever seen him so clearly before. Do you think I look like a good king? Marcus asked, Lucy nodded. Yes, you are kind and you listen to people. You care about others. That is what good kings do. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. Even if this king made mistakes sometimes, even if he had to do things that hurt people to protect other people, everyone makes mistakes, Lucy said. My mom says what matters is that you try to do the right thing and that you learn from your mistakes. Marcus looked at the drawing again. In Lucy's picture, he looked peaceful and strong, not tired and lonely like he felt most days. Can I keep this drawing? Marcus asked. Of course, Lucy said. It is for you. Marcus folded the drawing carefully and put it in his jacket pocket, right over his heart. Lucy arrived at the cafe early that day. Her mother had to drop her off before her usual time because of another work meeting. Lucy ordered her hot chocolate and sat at their usual table to wait for Marcus. She was coloring in her notebook when she heard the woman at the table behind her talking quietly into her phone. Lucy did not mean to listen, but the woman's voice was worried and urgent. His Imperial Majesty has been here too long, the woman said. The security risk is getting worse every day. The other races are asking questions about where he is. Lucy's crayon stopped moving. Imperial Majesty? That sounded very important. I know he seems happy, the woman continued. But this attachment to the human child is dangerous. What if someone finds out? What if they use her to hurt him? Lucy felt her stomach get cold. The woman was talking about Marcus. She was sure of it. We need to convince him to return to the ship, the woman said. The Andromedans are waiting for trade agreements, and the Zephyrian Council needs a decision about the border dispute. Lucy turned around slowly and looked at the woman. She was wearing a dark suit and had short black hair. She looked like she could be a soldier or a police officer. The woman noticed Lucy looking at her and quickly ended her phone call. She smiled at Lucy, but it was not a real smile. Lucy turned back to her notebook, but her hands were shaking. Marcus was not just a retired librarian. He was someone very, very important, and these people were watching him because of her. When Marcus walked into the cafe, Lucy looked at him differently. She noticed how straight he stood, how other people seemed to move out of his way without realizing it, how his eyes were always watching everything around him. Hello, Lucy, Marcus said. Sitting down. You are here early today. Marcus, Lucy said quietly. Are you really just a librarian? Marcus looked surprised. Why do you ask that? Because I heard that woman talking about you, Lucy said, pointing to the woman in the dark suit. She called you His Imperial Majesty. That means you're like a king or an emperor. Marcus looked at the woman, then back at Lucy. His face became very serious. What else did you hear? Marcus asked. She said you have been here too long, and that it is dangerous because of me, Lucy said. Her eyes filled with tears. She said other people are waiting for you to make important decisions. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. He looked at Lucy's sad face and realized he could not lie to her anymore. You are very smart, Lucy, Marcus said. Yes, I am a leader of people who live very far away. I have to make difficult choices that affect many lives. Are you a good leader? Lucy asked. Marcus thought about all the wars he had fought, all the hard decisions he had made, all the times he had to choose between saving some people and letting others get hurt. I try to be, Marcus said, but sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I have to do things that seem mean to protect more people from getting hurt. Lucy nodded. My teacher, Mrs. Peterson, says that too. She says being in charge is hard because you have to think about everyone, not just yourself. Marcus felt amazed. This 8-year-old girl understood things that many of his advisors did not. Are you afraid of me now that you know? Marcus asked. Lucy shook her head. No, you are still the same Marcus who shares hot chocolate with me and listens to my drawings. You are still my friend. Marcus felt his throat get tight. Even if I told you that I am the leader of many worlds, even if I told you that I command spaceships and armies. Lucy's eyes got wide. Really? You really are from space? Not exactly from space, Marcus said, but I do travel between worlds. I do lead people on many different planets. Lucy was quiet for a moment, thinking hard. Is that why you know so much about aliens and space travel? She asked. Yes, Marcus said. And is that why those people are always watching you? Marcus looked around the cafe. He could see Admiral Patricia Stone at the corner table and Colonel Jake Morrison reading a magazine by the window. Yes, Marcus said. They are trying to keep me safe. Lucy pulled out her notebook and started drawing. She drew Marcus standing on a spaceship, looking out at the stars. But this time, she also drew herself standing next to him. I drew this for you, she said, showing him the picture. Even if you have to go back to your people, I want you to remember that you have a friend here on Earth. Marcus looked at the drawing and felt tears in his eyes. Lucy, he said, knowing you has made me a better leader. You have taught me things I never learned in all my years of ruling. What did I teach you? Lucy asked. You taught me that the most important thing is to care about people, not just as groups or numbers, but as real people with hopes and dreams. Lucy smiled. You already knew that. You just forgot for a while. At that moment, Marcus's communication device made a soft beeping sound. He looked at it, and his face became worried. What is wrong? Lucy asked. My people need me, Marcus said. There is trouble, and I have to help them. Lucy felt scared, but she tried to be brave. Will you come back? Marcus took her small hand in his. I will try, Lucy, but if I cannot come back right away, I want you to remember something. What? You are going to do amazing things when you grow up. You are going to help people from many worlds understand each other. And no matter where I am, I will always be proud to be your friend. The next day, Marcus looked different when he walked into the cafe. His face was worried, and he kept checking his phone. Lucy could tell something bad had happened. Marcus, what is wrong? Lucy asked as soon as he sat down. There is trouble with my people, Marcus said. Bad people are attacking some of our colonies. Many families are in danger. Lucy felt scared. Are people getting hurt? Yes, Marcus said quietly. And I am the only one who can help stop it. But that means I have to leave Earth very soon. Lucy's eyes filled with tears. How soon? Before Marcus could answer, his phone made a loud beeping sound. He looked at it, and his face went pale. They attacked New Geneva, Marcus said, forgetting that Lucy did not know what that meant. 15,000 civilians. The defense fleet was caught by surprise. Lucy saw Marcus change right in front of her eyes. His voice became stronger and more commanding. He sat up straighter, and suddenly he looked like the powerful leader he really was. Admiral Stone, report, Marcus said into his phone, not caring anymore that Lucy could hear. Sir, the Hegemony Alliance broke through our outer defenses 3 hours ago. Came a woman's voice from the phone. They are targeting civilian populations first. The colony ships have nowhere to run. Marcus stood up and started pacing. What about the Third Fleet? Where's Admiral Martinez? The Third Fleet is 6 hours away, sir. The people on New Geneva do not have 6 hours. Lucy watched Marcus talk about battle plans and troop movements. She did not understand all the words, but she could see that many people were counting on him to save them. Deploy the emergency evacuation protocols. Marcus ordered. I want every civilian transport ship we have heading to New Geneva now. And get me a direct line to the Hegemony command ship. Sir, they are not accepting communications, the voice said. Then we make them accept, Marcus said, and his voice was cold and scary. Lucy had never seen Marcus like this. He was still her friend, but now she could see the Emperor inside him. He was someone who commanded spaceships and armies across the galaxy. Suddenly, the cafe door opened and several people in dark suits walked in. The woman Lucy had heard talking before came straight to their table. Your Imperial Majesty, the woman said formally, we must leave immediately. The situation is getting worse. Marcus looked at Lucy, then at the woman. Admiral Stone, this is my friend Lucy. Lucy, this is Admiral Patricia Stone. Admiral Stone looked surprised that Marcus was introducing her to a human child, but she nodded politely. Hello, Lucy, Admiral Stone said. I am sorry, but I need to take Marcus away now. Many people need his help. Lucy looked at Marcus. You have to go save those people, do not you? Yes, Marcus said. I am the only one who can give the orders to stop the attack. Lucy felt like crying, but she tried to be brave. Then you should go. Those people need you more than I do right now. Marcus knelt down so he was at Lucy's eye level. Lucy, I need to tell you something important. My real name is Emperor Valius Thorn. I rule something called the Terran Galactic Empire. Lucy nodded. I figured it was something like that. Marcus smiled even though he was sad. I want to give you something to keep you safe. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small necklace. It looked like a star made of silver, but it glowed softly with its own light. This will protect you, Marcus said, putting the necklace around Lucy's neck. If you are ever in danger, hold this star and say my real name, Emperor Valius Thorn. Can you remember that? Emperor Valius Thorn, Lucy repeated carefully. Good, Marcus said. And Lucy, I want you to know that meeting you has changed me. You have made me remember why I became a leader in the first place. To protect people, to help them, to make sure children like you can grow up safe and happy. More people in suits entered the cafe. One of them was talking urgently into a radio. Sir, the hegemony fleet is moving toward the inner colonies, the man said. We need to intercept them before they reach your sector. Marcus's face became hard. They will not touch Earth, he said firmly. I will not let them. He turned back to Lucy. I have to go now, but I promise you something. I will come back to Earth someday. And when I do, I will make sure that humans and aliens can be friends, just like in your drawings. Lucy hugged Marcus tightly. Be careful out there. And remember that even emperors need friends. Marcus hugged her back. I will never forget you, Lucy Martinez. You are the wisest person I have ever met. Admiral Stone touched Marcus's shoulder gently. Sir, we really must go. Marcus stood up, and suddenly he was completely the emperor. His shoulders were straight, his voice was commanding, and his eyes were fierce. Prepare the fleet for immediate departure, he ordered. All hands to battle stations. And send a message to the Hegemony Alliance. Tell them that Emperor Valius Thorn is coming, and he is not happy. As Marcus walked toward the door with his guards, he turned back one more time. Take care of yourself, Lucy. The galaxy is going to need people like you someday. Then he was gone, and Lucy was alone at their table with her drawing pad and the glowing star around her neck. She looked down at the star and whispered, Come back safe, Emperor Valius Thorn. Far above the Earth, invisible to human eyes, a massive spaceship appeared, and Marcus stepped aboard to face the greatest battle of his long reign. High above Earth, Emperor Valius Thorn stood on the bridge of his massive flagship, the ISS Sovereign. The ship was so large that whole cities could fit inside it. Through the giant windows, he could see thousands of other ships waiting for his orders. Report, Marcus commanded as he walked to his command chair. Sir, the Hegemony Alliance has 12 battle fleets attacking our colonies, said Admiral Stone. They hit New Geneva first, then moved to the farming worlds of Sector 7. They are destroying everything in their path. Marcus looked at the battle display that showed red dots representing enemy ships and blue dots showing his own forces. The red dots were everywhere. How many civilians have we lost? Marcus asked. Too many, sir, said Colonel Jake Morrison. The enemy is targeting schools, hospitals, and family homes first. They want to scare us into surrendering. Marcus felt anger burning in his chest. But then he remembered Lucy's words about how good leaders care about people, not just winning battles. Change our strategy, Marcus said. I want every available ship focused on evacuation first. Save the civilians before we worry about fighting. General Amanda Cross looked surprised. Sir, that will let the enemy take more territory. We should strike back hard and fast. No, Marcus said firmly. We evacuate the families first. Every child, every parent, every grandparent gets to safety before we fire a single shot in anger. The officers around the bridge looked confused. The Emperor had never given orders like this before. Usually, he focused on destroying the enemy as quickly as possible. Sir, said Captain Steve Barnes, if we focus on evacuation, we lose the advantage of surprise. Marcus thought about Lucy's drawing of him as a good king who protected people. Captain, what good is victory if we lose the people we are fighting to protect? The evacuation began immediately. Marcus's ships raced to the attacked colonies and began loading up civilians. Parents carried crying babies onto transport ships. Teachers led groups of scared children to safety. Doctors helped elderly people who could not walk fast. Marcus watched the evacuation on his screens and felt something new. Instead of just seeing numbers and strategy, he saw faces. He saw families like Lucy's family. People who just wanted to live in peace. "Sir, we have a problem," Admiral Stone said. "The hegemony commander wants to talk to you." "Put him on screen," Marcus ordered. A large alien appeared on the main viewing screen. He had gray skin for arms and angry red eyes. This was General Chromax, leader of the Hegemony Alliance. "Emperor Thorn," Chromax said with a nasty smile. "You are too late. We have already taken 6 of your worlds. Soon we will take them all." "General Chromax," Marcus replied calmly, "I am giving you one chance to stop this attack and leave our space peacefully." Chromax laughed loudly. "You think I fear you, old man? Your empire is weak. Your people are soft. We will crush you all." Marcus stood up from his chair. "General, I learned something recently from a very wise teacher. She taught me that the strongest thing in the universe is not weapons or armies. It is caring about others." "You talk like a fool," Chromax said. "Maybe," Marcus said, "but here's what I know. Every person you have hurt has friends who love them. Every family you have attacked has neighbors who care about them. You are not just fighting my ships, General. You are fighting every human in the galaxy who believes in protecting each other." Marcus looked around his bridge at his officers. "And we do not just fight for territory or power. We fight because no child should be afraid. We fight because families should be able to have dinner together in peace. We fight because everyone deserves a chance to dream about the future." On the screen, Chromax looked less sure of himself. "All ships, this is the Emperor," Marcus announced over the communication system. "Today we fight not as conquerors, but as protectors. We fight for every child who draws pictures of the stars. We fight for every parent who tells bedtime stories about brave heroes. We fight because hope is stronger than fear." The battle began, but it was different from any battle Marcus had ever fought. His ships protected the civilian transports first. His soldiers rescued enemy crews from damaged ships instead of destroying them completely. His doctors treated wounded enemies along with wounded allies. Marcus remembered Lucy's words about aliens and humans being friends someday. He opened communication channels to the enemy fleet. "Attention, all hegemony ships," Marcus broadcast. "Any ship that stops attacking civilians and leaves our space will be allowed to go freely. We do not want to destroy you. We want this war to end so our children can grow up in peace." One by one, enemy ships began to stop fighting. Some of them even helped with the evacuation. General Chromax found himself commanding fewer and fewer ships as his own people realized they were fighting for the wrong reasons. "This is impossible," Chromax said during another communication. "Why are my ships abandoning me?" "Because deep down, everyone wants the same things," Marcus said, remembering Lucy's innocent wisdom. "They want to be safe. They want their families to be happy. They want to go home." By the end of the day, the war was over. Not because one side had destroyed the other, but because Marcus had remembered how to be the kind of leader Lucy had seen in her drawings. As his ship headed back toward Earth, Marcus touched his jacket pocket, where he kept Lucy's drawing of him as a good king. "Admiral Stone," Marcus said, "prepare a message to the Galactic Council. It is time for humanity to take its place among the stars." 3 months had passed since Marcus left Earth. Lucy went to Moonbeam Coffee every day after school, hoping to see him again. She always sat at their usual table and drew pictures while she waited. The cafe owner, Mrs. Kim, had gotten used to seeing the little girl there and always made sure her hot chocolate was extra warm. Lucy's star necklace had glowed softly every night for the past week. She did not know what it meant, but it made her feel like Marcus was thinking about her. On a Tuesday afternoon in spring, Lucy was drawing a picture of her surrounded by friendly spaceships when she heard a familiar voice behind her. "That is A beautiful drawing, Lucy. Lucy spun around in her chair and saw Marcus standing there, smiling. But he looked different now. He was wearing formal clothes that seemed to shimmer in the light, and other people in fancy uniforms stood behind him. Marcus. Lucy shouted and ran to hug him. Marcus knelt down and hugged her tightly. I told you I would come back. I missed you so much, Lucy said. Are your people safe now? Yes, they are safe, Marcus said. And it is because of what you taught me about caring for others instead of just fighting. Lucy looked at the people standing with Marcus. They all looked very important and official. Lucy, Marcus said, I want you to meet some friend of mine. This is Ambassador Chun from the Galactic Council, Captain Rodriguez from the Earth Defense Force, and Dr. Williams from the United Nations. Lucy felt nervous. These people seemed much more serious than the customers who usually came to the cafe. Hello, Lucy said quietly. Ambassador Chun stepped forward and smiled kindly. Lucy Martinez, it is an honor to meet you. The Emperor has told us so much about you. He has? Lucy asked. Yes, Dr. Williams said. He says you are the reason he learned how to be a better leader. He says you taught him that the most important thing is to take care of people. Marcus sat down at their usual table and gestured for Lucy to join him. Lucy, I have some very important news. Because of what happened during the war, the Galactic Council has decided that humans are ready to join the other space-traveling civilizations. Lucy's eyes got wide. Really? We get to meet aliens officially. Yes, Marcus said, and I have something very special to ask you. Marcus pulled out a folder and opened it to show Lucy an official-looking document with her name on it. The Galactic Council wants to create a new program called the Lucy Martinez Galactic Youth Ambassador Program. Marcus said, it will help children from different worlds learn about each other and become friends. Lucy could not believe what she was hearing. They want to name it after me? Yes, Marcus said, because you showed all of us that children understand friendship better than adults sometimes. You will be the first Earth ambassador in the program. Captain Rodriguez leaned forward. Lucy, this means you get to visit other worlds and meet alien children. You would help them learn that humans are friendly, just like in your drawings. Lucy looked at her newest drawing, the one she'd been working on when Marcus arrived. It showed human children and alien children playing together on a space station. Would I really get to go to space? Lucy asked. If your mother says it's okay, Marcus said. But first, there is someone very special who wants to meet you. The cafe door opened and Lucy gasped. A tall being with blue skin and kind silver eyes walked in. She had 4 arms and wore a flowing robe covered in tiny stars. Lucy Martinez. The alien said in a musical voice, I am Ambassador Zara from the planet Andromeda Prime. I have traveled very far. Thank you. Lucy stared in amazement. This was a real alien, just like in her drawings. Thank me for what? Lucy asked. For teaching our Emperor about compassion, Ambassador Zara said. Because of what you taught him, the war ended with peace instead of more fighting. Many families on many worlds are safe because of your friendship. Lucy felt tears in her eyes, but they were happy tears. Marcus put his hand on Lucy's shoulder. Lucy, do you remember when you asked me if I was a good leader? Lucy nodded. Well, because of you, I finally learned how to be one, Marcus said. You taught me that good leaders do not just give orders. Good leaders listen. Good leaders care. Good leaders remember that every decision affects real people with real families. Mrs. Kim came over to their table with a tray full of hot chocolate for everyone, including Ambassador Zara. I hope alien visitors like hot chocolate, Mrs. Kim said with a smile. Ambassador Zara took a sip and her silver eyes sparkled. This is wonderful. No wonder you and the Emperor became such good friends over this drink. Lucy looked around the table at Marcus, the alien ambassador, and all the important people who had come see her. So what happens now? Lucy asked. Marcus smiled. Now we start building the future you drew in all your pictures. A future where humans and aliens are friends. A future where children from different worlds can play together. A future where no one has to be afraid of anyone else. Lucy raised her cup of hot chocolate, to friendship across the stars. Everyone at the table raised their cups too. To friendship across the stars. Outside the cafe windows, people on the street stopped to look up at the sky where Marcus's ship was waiting. For the first time in human history, Earth was no longer alone in the universe. And it all started with a little girl sharing her hot chocolate with a lonely stranger in a coffee shop. Lucy looked at Marcus and grinned. "I told you aliens won't be our friends." Marcus laughed. "You were right, as always, Ambassador Lucy." As they sat together in the cafe where their friendship began, Lucy knew that this was just the start of the greatest adventure in human history, and she was going to be part of it all.